Hello, hello. We are back, folks. Preseason game number 2. This one had a much more serious tone. The starters played way more minutes. In this one, kind of felt like a real game. Some said it even felt like a playoff game at times. So definitely a lot more to discuss, a lot more worth discussing. I think the first game was more about just getting your feet wet, getting back on the basketball court, introducing the new pieces, and just trying to get a good lather in. This game, definitely, like I said, the team ratcheted it up. I'll expect the third game will be more for the end of the bench guys. Like Luka and the gang will probably, I'll be surprised if they play past the first quarter, depending on what Rick's philosophy is. I know some teams have 3, and some teams have 4. We're one of the teams with 3 preseason games, so we will see. But anyway, the Mavs look great, man. The Mavs look great. The depth is there. The versatility within like what we can do with our lineups, mixing and matching every single position on the floor is beautiful. And this is without Porzingis. So when he comes back, that's even just adding more to the arsenal that we can throw at people. Like we can create problems for any team if we choose to. Or we can create problems we can create problems for ourselves if we decide to keep certain people playing heavy minutes. But we'll get into that a little later. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. We are one day closer to NBA regular season action, and there was a lot to like from this game in particular. I think I'm starting to ramble, so we're going to cut this off. We'll start going through those box scores, and we'll keep it moving. Welcome back yet again to the Bibbs Corner podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mike Bibbins, on Twitter at Bibbs Corner for all the sports stuff. And let's get into what happened on the court tonight. A lot of good things and some things that weren't so great. But we'll get there at that time. Let me first start this off for a very special listener. The Mavericks did win the game tonight. This is just for you. I want to make sure you know the Mavericks won the game. It's 128 to 112. Mavericks started out pretty good, had a good lead, lost it, had about a little into the second quarter. The Bucks went up a while. They stayed up. They maintained it into the third quarter till about the 8-minute or so mark in the third quarter. Then the Mavs took it back, and then Mavs dominated the rest of the way. So 128-112, the Mavericks did beat the Bucks, and that was just for you. All right. So getting into these box scores. Goodness gracious, my throat is... you might have seen on Twitter I said I lost my voice after the Lamar touchdown pass to Hollywood Brown. The Ravens are my football team, and I've told this story about how I'm a fan of the Mavericks in basketball and Ravens in football before. Long story short, my dad was in the military and I moved a lot. All right. Family is originally from Delaware. Okay. Anyway, with that all established, as far as the Bucks, Giannis did Giannis type things. 27 minutes, 24 points, 14 boards, 3 blocks, 4 assists. Drew looked better than he did in the first game. He had 11 and 6. Middleton 13 and 6. Brooke had 11 in his 22 minutes. DiVincenzo, he only had 3 points, but he was making some plays. He had 3 steals. I really like him moving into the starting lineup, honestly. I think that helps the team. Bobby Portis and Bryn Forbes look good off the bench for the Bucks. Torrey Craig did some things. I think they still need some depth on that team. They're missing some stuff for sure. So we'll see if they make any moves here as people start to cut players and figure out their lineups. We'll see if they make a move here. And I think a lot of people might be sleeping on the possibility of the Bucks getting into the James Harden sweepstakes, by the way. A Chris Middleton type package might be worth exploring. Anyway, got off track. So yeah, back to the Mavs, the people you actually care about here. Luka Doncic, big game for him today. We talked about him looking kind of sluggish in the first game. He stepped it up tonight. Still wasn't, himself. Wasn't as mobile as he usually is. But the craftiness of his game is what makes him special. Like, him being athletic is a bonus, but his craftiness, you can see he's not at 100%. Nobody's going to pretend that he's at 100%. But even then, he was able to put up 27 points, 8 boards, 4 assists in 29 minutes. Getting in the lane at will on one of the best defenders in the league, and Drew Holiday, scoring over Giannis and Brooke Lopez, who are two of the best interior defenders in the league. So, Luka's just a special guy. You have to know what you have in him. He was 9 for 20 from the field and 3 for 8 from 3. So again, another good shooting day for Luka, which you love to see. It does look like his stroke, his motion, his rhythm, pause, all look more natural and fluid and repeatable. You had to believe that his shooting was going to improve over time, and it has. He definitely wasn't lazy about working on that shot. And if that holds and continues, then we're going to be in good shape. On the other end of the spectrum was his free throw shooting. 6 for 10 from the line, and that can't be a thing. We can't have him missing free throws. Anybody who knows the game knows that 80-90% of free throw shooting is mental. And for me, I think he's just not focusing, or he's over-focusing on the line. He needs to probably get up 100 free throws a day until it's nothing. It's like a second thought, an afterthought. Like he could do it with his eyes closed type of thing, because he's going to get to the line. His game gets him inside. People are going to foul him to prevent him from doing other things. So he has to be able to capitalize on that by shooting about 80% at least from the free throw line. There's no excuse for shooting below 80% if you're getting to the line 10, 15, 20 times a game. Anyway, so moving on. Josh Richardson. Josh Richardson, oh man, he looks special out there. He's fit in seamlessly. It's really ridiculous how good he looks out there. He doesn't look like he's trying to figure out where he fits in. He doesn't look like he's trying to do too much to impress. He just, Rick told him the philosophy of what we do, and he's out there doing it. I saw him a few times bring the ball up the court, didn't hesitate to do so. Luka was looking for the ball a couple times, and it wasn't like a THJ look off either, where he's just going for his. No, he was bringing it up the court to set up the offense. Like, hey, I got it. Like, you get into where you fit in, and we're going up the floor. Like, by me passing this ball to you, I'm slowing the offense down. So we want to push the pace. That's what I'm going to do. So I love that. Definitely more, and that's why I said I didn't ever pay that much attention to Richardson. So seeing that in his game is awesome to me. He actually finished, again, 23 points, 7 boards, 2 assists tonight, 7 for 10 from the field, 23 points on 10 shot attempts. Come on, man. He was 5 for 6 from 3, which means I think he was 3 for 4 last game, 5 for 6 tonight. Again, almost all his shots are wide open. The threes, I should say, are wide open, and he's just capitalizing on them. And like when he's shooting it, you can just see he's comfortable. It's like a practice 3, and that's how it should be. Luka's gonna give you wide open opportunities. You just have to hit them. That's the beauty of things here in Dallas, and it seems like Richardson already gets that, so that's beautiful. I love it. Also was making plays on defense, getting in the way, mucking things up. And it's not just about steals and blocks when you look at defense. And getting in the way, being in the right place, disrupting the other team's offensive flow. Those are the things that you have to do, and Richardson did a good job of that tonight. Dorian Finney-Smith started at the power forward again. 6 points, 11 boards for him, 2 assists, and a steal. I don't like the Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell combination because it doesn't give us much on the interior defensively. Finney-Smith getting 11 rebounds is cool, but he's still playing up. He's still having to deal with Giannis and Brooke Lopez. And during those portions of the game, the Bucks started out trying to do their stuff, shooting threes and stuff. Eventually they realized, oh, wait, the Mavericks don't have any type of interior presence, and it's just a parade to the rim. Let's drop it off to Brooke. Giannis dived to the hoop. Drew Holiday drives. Like, everybody was just going to the rim at will or getting fouled. And it was very annoying to watch. Finney-Smith, I love him. I do not love him at the 4. In almost any scenario, I can't think of a good reason to play him at the 4. Hardaway. He did score tonight. He had 17 points, 1 board, 2 assists, and a steal. He was 5 for 13 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3. Got to the line also, 4 for 5 from the line. Jay Rich was 4 for 5 from the line as well. Hardaway is what he is, and there were a few attempts where you could tell he was forcing it, trying to do too much, and like I said, it is what it is. I'm not going to even impart my ideas about what I would do with this team right now. Glad to see him hit some shots. Glad to see him shoot a respectable number from the 3. And hopefully in that first quarter that I expect the starters to get next game, he shows even more efficiency. And then finally, Dwight Howard was the last starter. He played about 22 minutes, 5 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. 2 for 7 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the line. Dwight Howard is a great... Did I say Dwight Howard? Yeah, you can tell I'm exhausted. Too much excitement tonight with the Ravens game and the Mavs back-to-back, really overlapping each other. And then, yeah. Anyway, Dwight Powell... I would love if we had Dwight Howard down there. Dwight Powell had those stats that I mentioned. Again, he's a great guy. He is not a great basketball player. Complete swinging door on defense. And you know what? I'm not going to spend time to go in on him. Y'all asked me like 100 questions about Dwight, so I'll just save it for that. I need to see Rick make a decision that makes some sense. Dwight Powell, Dorian Finney-Smith is not a thing that I need to be seeing in the regular season. We cannot start the regular season with Dwight Powell and Dorian Finney-Smith as the starters in the interior. People talked about the Mavs getting off the slow starts. And we actually did lead early in this game, but a team that actually is trying to win and realizes what's in front of them is going to feast. Who do we play first to start the season? Let me look at these teams. Let me look at this. Suns, Ayton, Lakers. We know what they do. Clippers. We know what they do. Hornets, we might be okay. We might be okay with Powell and Dorian Finney-Smith against the Hornets. So that's comforting, right? The Heat. What, Bam? Yeah, I'm not trying to see Dwight Powell, Dorian Finney-Smith starting regular season games. I don't care that we can overcome that. Why put ourselves in that position? Why put ourselves behind to start the game if we don't have to? Please put somebody that has any type of interior presence in the game in the starting lineup. Please. At this point, I will even accept Maxi. I don't like him playing the 5, but you know what? It's better than what we were doing right now. Okay. Moving to the bench. Speaking of Maxi, he had 9 points again tonight, 3 for 5 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. More great defense on Giannis, making plays, drawing charges, just doing his job, looking like Maxi. And he played 19 minutes, by the way. I enjoy Maxi. I enjoy seeing Maxi play Maxi ball. Bubble Maxi was hard to watch. I was embarrassed watching Bubble Maxi. That's my guy, but he was complete buns in the bubble. Ironically, because he wasn't. Never mind. Y'all know where that was going. Moving on, Josh Green had a good game. 10 points, 2 boards, and an assist. He was 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and he was releasing it with no hesitation. It looked good. Again, on his drives, he was making some interesting looking passes. I would like to see him be more aggressive attacking the rim as far as like putting it up to score. He did show off a floater tonight, which was beautiful. I saw somebody make the joke that he has a better floater than Justin Jackson. Again, Green, oh man, I'm so excited about Josh Green. Long term, about halfway through the season, we're going to really see what we have with Josh Green, and I'm excited for that. Trey Burke was active, putting up shots, 8 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, 3 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. Not shooting a great percentage, but we're putting him out there to be active, to get shots up, and he's doing that. Brunson had 11 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, and a steal. He was 4 for 8 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. My beef with Brunson, and I feel like there were a few Brunson questions too. My beef with Brunson was there were a few times where he ran a pick and roll and the man was open. The roll man was there, but he looked him off and like went for his own shot. And that's the thing with him. And I think it gave me J.J. Barea flashbacks. I know Barea's good at getting the pass there, and a lot of highlights on that. But often you see the guys there and they choose Barea and Brunson in this case, and they're choosing to keep the ball because they think they can get it too. Like both options are there, and the option I'm going with is me. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence in themselves making that pass because it's over a bigger guy in most scenarios, or what the case is, but it annoys me. James Johnson played 8 minutes, 4 boards, an assist, and a block. There was one play where he put it on the floor and had a very nice drive. I didn't realize he had handles like that. And again, just shows off so much versatility that we have. We can mix and match guys, play guys in 2, 3, 4 positions, depending on how we're feeling. And I think Rick's going to have fun tinkering. Hopefully he gets to tinkering sooner rather than later. Speaking of which, Willie Cauley-Stein. Willie, Trilly, Big Billy. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, he had 8 points, only 1 board. He was 3 for 3 from the field. He splashed 2 threes and had a huge dunk off a lob. When the lob went up, I thought it was too high. I didn't think he was going to get it. My man hesitated, reached back, and brought that thing home hard, with power, I would say. And stuffed it through the rim. Beautiful. The things that, Dwight Powell allegedly does at an elite level. I think if we saw Willie Cauley-Stein get a chance, he could perhaps do it at an elite level as well. He also doesn't have T-Rex arms. So there's been a loud cry for Willie Cauley-Stein to get that opportunity to start, and I think he's ready. I think he's more ready than he looked in the first game, and I can't foresee a scenario where he doesn't get that opportunity at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later. For the rookies, the other rookies, the ones that aren't going to get real minutes, Bay had a rebound, didn't really make a stamp or put his stamp on the game in his 7 minutes. Terry played about 4.5 minutes. He looked a lot more confident this game and aggressive, and I loved it. His scoring or his ball handling is not going to come from sitting up, breaking his man down. He has to use deception and speed. So most of the time he was in there when he had the ball, he was doing a lot of head fakes and hesitation trying to get inside. And he did get inside for his layup tonight, where he had 2 points, and he also had an assist. But again, he was aggressive with the ball in his hands, and again, looked more comfortable and confident. I think we'll probably get a big dose of him next game for the Terry Stan Club. We'll probably get a big dose of the young guys in the next game. So I would expect to see Terry get maybe 20 minutes in that last preseason game. It might be the last time you get to see him for that long, for a very long time. So enjoy it. And again, hopefully he goes off, because I think the Terry Hive woke up a little on the wrong side of the bed this morning, or the other day. So I need y'all to feel good about things, because I don't have the energy for that. Hinton was quiet. He had a rebound, 0 for 2, 0 for 1 from 3. And then Boban got his 4 minutes, 2 points, 3 boards. And for those of you keeping track at home, 2 points, 3 boards in 4 minutes. Dwight played 22 minutes, had 2 boards. Just saying. Rebounds matter. That's it for the box score rundown. I feel like I had no energy during that, so I apologize if I bored you right now. I'm going to come back. We'll get into my player of the game, my tweet of the night, which you should really enjoy, and then I got to get to talk my stuff. So we'll be back, and we'll run down some questions as well. Okay, after that quick break, we are right back into it. I'm not even going to play around with this part. We're just going to run it down. Player of the game is Josh Richardson. Anybody questioning whether or not he can be that third guy, I think he's doing his best to put that hesitation to rest. He's looking the part for sure. Definitely excited to see what he looks like in the regular season. And I picked him up on my fantasy team, so I will definitely enjoy those benefits if he keeps shooting it like he has been. And not even exactly like he has been, because 90% from 3 is ridiculous. But keeps up the shooting, keeps up the playmaking, the great defense, and he's going to be a huge difference maker for this team this year. I'm excited. Our tweet of the night comes from a friend of the show, at Mind of Reese, and let me make sure I got the volume up for this one. So Reese said, and he put in quotes, "Hey Reese, how do you feel about the Mavs starting Dwight Powell?" And then he said, "Me."
This man was a bona fide scrub. He can't play. No disrespect whatsoever, but I'm sorry to tell everybody the truth. The man cannot play the game of basketball. He has small hands. He can't catch the ball. He's got bad feet. He can't really move, even though he's mobile. Doesn't really know what he's doing. Doesn't have a post move that he puts to memory that he can do 2 times in a row. He has no game whatsoever. Plays no defense. Doesn't have the heart, the passion, or anything that comes with. This man was a bona fide.
All right, so you could probably cut out the heart, passion part. But other than that, Stephen A. Smith, I think, summed it up pretty well. It's hard to watch him play basketball, man. I don't give a damn what the analytics say. Dwight Powell does not need to be starting under any circumstances. I don't want to hear about it with Porzingis. Do I want him with a Zingis? Do I want him with a Tingus? No. I don't. I want him on the bench where he belongs. In a just world, he wouldn't even get the backup minutes. But because he's a fantastic guy, he can have the backup minutes. That's fine. If you want to play him with Maxi off the bench, fine. Or with Willie Cauley-Stein, whatever. I don't care. If you need to play him off the bench 10, 15 minutes, fine. I will live with that. But he does not need to be playing 20 minutes in an NBA game if we want to have the best shot at winning. There are multiple players on that bench that deserve more minutes than Dwight Powell. I would technically say Boban should be in that discussion. I'm not going to argue with y'all about that, though. I'm going to let it go. Look, it is what it is. We'll get in. We'll be getting going. We'll probably have this debate the rest of the season, because I have a feeling that it's going to be difficult to get him out of the rotation. One of these days he'll have a good game, or he'll have like 10-8 or 12 or 14 or 15, whatever. He's going to have a good, whatever you consider a good game, he's going to have one. And you're going to be in the Dwight Powell haters mentions and feeling good about yourself, but not realizing that he gave up 25 easy buckets on the other end. Oh, man. Oh, God. I can't do it. Dwight Powell, again, fantastic man. Great guy. Not a great basketball player. Get him off my starting lineup, please. Moving forward. We got some questions from the crowd, and a lot of them are Dwight Powell based. MB only _25. Why TF is Powell still a starter? And then he added a face with tears of joy and a second face with tears of joy, which is really tears of laughter. I don't know, man. I don't know if they feel like they owe it to him or what. There's no way. Whatever. Nobody's going to explain. You cannot explain to me why he should be starting and make it make sense. Especially with Porzingis out. Finney-Smith and Powell are guys who are dependent upon other people to make anything happen. Finney-Smith can catch and shoot. He can get an offensive rebound here and there and put it back up. I'll give him that. Dwight Powell, all he's going to do is pick and roll. Anything else, I can't tell you what else he does. I think he hands the ball off and helps the offense run. I'll give you that. He can hand that thing off like Joe Montana or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. Mav slander. Willie Cauley-Stein, starting center going forward. Again, in a just world, yes, it would be very obvious that Willie Cauley-Stein should be starting over Dwight Powell. But I'm not putting any energy into trying to figure out what Rick is going to do. To the Future 22 said Luka's shot looked better. Or it looks a lot better with a question mark. So I think it does. I think it looks way more natural. Some used to be able to tell on his release if it's going in or not. And again, there's some rust in some of his moves, especially in the interior, stuff like that. But as far as his shot coming off his hands, it looks a lot cleaner than it used to. I trust it more than I used to. So I'm definitely happy with how Luka looks shooting the basketball. Luka, Magia. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Why is Josh Richardson the missing piece for this team winning the championship? I don't know what to do with that question. It sounds like you made a statement. I think it's clear that Josh Richardson is a piece that we want to keep for the future. So I saw somebody else post a thing saying that, Mavs fans have been burned over these past 10 years. So they posted that it's going to suck watching, or something along the lines of, it's going to suck watching Josh Richardson sign with another team while we wait for Giannis in the offseason. Now, I told y'all I'm not trying to talk about no offseason, but that kind of, I almost interacted with that, but I let it slide by. I don't want to think about that. hopefully we can retain Josh Richardson. And that's all I got to say about that. Beatrix_88. I see a lot of Brunson slander, but I really like him as a second unit floor general. Thoughts? Brunson, yes, I think he's suited for that role. That's what he's supposed to be doing. I think Burke actually has some playmaking in his game too. So the times where Brunson decides that the shot is his and he doesn't dish that ball off, hopefully Burke can make up for that some. So again, I trust him with the ball, trust him running that second unit. It is what it is. He's going to make mistakes. He's still a young guy too, coming off an injury. So you can't expect him to be perfect out there. I think he does the job. Mavs highlights: Luka, J. Rich, THJ, DFS, and Pal, who is no longer a starter once KP returns. So if I'm tapping into the mind of a Rick Carlisle, I would imagine that Powell would be the guy that comes out if he keeps this rotation. But we know Rick is going to take toy and tinker. I told you guys already my preferred scenario is KP, James Johnson. But we'll see if that happens. Who is no longer a starter? Oh, I already did that. Is the pre-bubble Maxi officially back? I think so. It's hard to say because I feel like he always starts out the season well and usually falls off by the end of the season, or he has in the past couple of seasons. This past season was weird in the sense that there was the huge layoff before the bubble and he had some personal things going on. But yeah, he is where he should be at this point in the year, and the question is, can he maintain that? I've also said I feel like he should be starting with KP out because he is the one that has the skills that are most replaced. Excuse me. He's the one best suited to replace KP's role in the offense and defense, really. So it would only make sense in my mind to have him start while KP is gone and then be KP's backup when KP returns. But, again, I don't make these decisions. Let's see here. Panda Hank 41. What do you think will be the probability of Rick eventually starting Willie Cauley-Stein over Powell? Most MFFLs think he should, but we also understand Rick's love for Powell. LOL. Probability. I'm going to say 25% chance that Willie Cauley-Stein gets moved in over Powell. More likely is that Powell continues to start and Willie Cauley-Stein gets more minutes or gets closer to even minutes during the season. We'll see. We will see. He also added, I'm super hyped that the Wurzburg Wall is officially back-to-back games with charges taken against Giannis, and a victorious looking emoji. So yeah, definitely glad to see my man Maxi out here balling again. Missed him in the bubble. Sammy_Dabab. Where would we be if this was Dennis Smith Jr.'s team instead of Luka? So I asked him to clarify, and in this scenario, we traded Luka instead of Dennis Smith Jr. I almost entertained it, but I'm just going to say that never would have happened. Once we drafted Luka, it was Luka. There was no question about who was better from anybody. So it always would have been Dennis Smith getting traded. Now, if I look at it another way, what if we didn't get to draft Luka? We would have got a big man, and we would still be in the midst of a rebuild, most likely. That's how I feel about that. God's Ace 05, and I should have put this one behind the other Brunson question, but how do you like the backcourt tandem? I've been seeing too much Brunson slander. He later added, I really want to know why people don't like Brunson. If you know, please talk about that. Someone responded, I think, mentioning what I mentioned about the playmaking or the choosing himself to get buckets versus setting other guys up. I think that's one thing, and I also believe his struggles last year before the injury, turning the ball over and trying to do too much, basically, are stuck with people as well. I'm hoping that once we get into the regular season, we start playing some real games, people will see that he and Burke off the bench as a tandem does work for us for what we need them to do right now. What else did he say? He also added, is the three-point shooting here to stay or just preseason adrenaline? There is no reason for us not to shoot the three this well. We have shooters everywhere. Literally almost everybody on the team is a shooter. Luka's going to draw 2-3 defenders every possession. If we move the ball, somebody should get a wide open shot, and those shots should be falling. So I'm not going to say we're going to maintain a ridiculous 40-50% three-point percentage, but we should always have good shooting nights. We should also be able to score inside as well, and it shouldn't just be Luka. The more threes we hit, the more wide open the court should become, and the easier it should be to score inside. So there's that. Rolo Gonzalez 78 said, do you think Powell being moved to the bench will make for chemistry issues? Will Carlisle move him to the bench and let him run with the second unit? And I kept this one separate because of that first part of that question, the chemistry issues. I do not think that Dwight Powell moving to the bench is going to be a problem for anybody. I think Dwight is a company man who will do whatever it takes to help the team. I almost hope he tells Rick, hey, brother, I shouldn't be starting, because I feel like that's the only way that he's getting out of that starting lineup anytime soon. I could be wrong, but, that's the history of how things have played out on this team. And I've enjoyed him with Maxi. Max Power was a tandem that worked. So put those two back together. Bench is fine with me. Whatever. And if Willie Cauley-Stein's going to be hitting jumpers, then maybe we don't need to start Maxi while KP is out. Maybe it does need to just be Willie. And finally, Cody McCain sent his question via DM again. Did we commit highway robbery on the Seth for Jay Rich trade? It's funny because I was talking to someone before the game about that, and I have to say, 2 games in, it really does look like it. Unless something clicks in Seth in Philly this year and he just starts firing away, Richardson's confidence in pulling the trigger is by itself an upgrade. His ability to defend, huge upgrade. And then we got a pick for it too, which turned into Bay. Yes, that was a heist. And I think Doc Rivers, being Seth's father-in-law, played into that. And it is what it is. He got family to come over there. They paid a premium for it. Thank you, Philly. Thank you. And now we're going to move to the rant session, my parting thought of the night. Leave Luka alone. Luka is a grown-ass man. You don't need to ask him if he's chubby. You don't need to ask him if he knows that people are talking about his weight. What are we accomplishing with that? You think he doesn't know his body? When you step out of the shower and look down at your gut, like, do you need somebody to tell you about that gut, or are you aware of it? When you struggle to get off the couch in the evenings, anybody need to tell you that you aren't in the best shape of your life? Probably not. So why do we think we need to tell a world-class athlete that he's not in shape right now? I think he knows. I think we were in a pandemic. He had no idea when the season was coming back. He was probably trying to relax, probably trying to keep his mind right, probably trying to enjoy his life. He was stuck in a bubble away from friends and family for months. He probably wasn't on his conditioning. When the season came back, we got a shortened preseason and barely any training camp. He didn't have time to get into a conditioning regimen and get his body right. That'll happen over the course of the season. I have no doubts. that he's going to get his body right. But even if he doesn't get back to exactly where he was, he showed tonight he can be effective with a little bit of extra weight on. If he is in the gym, if he's playing basketball every other day, his conditioning will improve, as will anybody else's. It's kind of jacked up to ask this man about his body. It's jacked up to ask anybody about their body. Unless he's dealing with an injury of some sort, unless you see him like not able to move, like if he's barely getting up the court, then we can start talking about it. But he's out here still playing ball, looking almost like himself. Yeah, like I said, he was not as fluid as he was in the Clippers series. I mentioned that, I believe, on the last podcast. Look a little bit slow. But even then, like I mentioned earlier in this podcast, his shiftiness, it still allows him to get to the places he needs to get when he wants to get to those places. So, while he works himself back into shape, I mean, our other guy can't even play right now. I think we can allow Luka to work himself back into shape over the course of the next few weeks. Okay? Is that all right? Leave him alone. Stop asking him about his body. Like, that's going to bother me because I think he mentioned seeing people talking about it. The jokes are funny or whatever, but you have to think about what that does to a person. My mom told me I looked like Suge Knight one time. I was appalled. I was like 5'7", like 120 pounds when I graduated high school. I am over 200 now. And I don't consider myself a big dude. But when my mom said I looked like Suge Knight, it woke me up. I've been exercising every day since. But I felt disrespected. And that's what you're doing to Luka when you start asking him about his weight to his face. Leave the man alone. Let him get his body right. It was a weird season. It was a weird off season. We're going into a shortened season. Everybody's not going to be in their best of conditions. So, again, unless he's out there putting up 10-point, 3 for 40 nights, leave him alone. That's it. I'm out. Peace. Yo, Tyler Boston. My bad. Yeah, I had to punch this in real quick. At the Tyler Boston asked, what random two-way guy had or has the most support from Mavs fans? Hinton, Spalding, Motley, or Reeves? So I actually wanted to see if I could find, he did a poll on this. He didn't think he could get the responses, so I retweeted it. I think he ended up getting pretty good responses, but I'm going to pull that up to see what people said. All right, so let me get my vote real quick. Bang. So people said Hinton, and I thought that would happen. Reeves was second, and I think that was recency bias. I don't think Hinton is truly the biggest, the one that had the biggest fan base. I think Reeves had a very small but vocal fan base last year. I think Hinton has a pretty good, he's building a pretty good one right now. And his activity on social media and stuff like that is helping that. But my choice is Motley. And I think what is working in Motley's favor, the fact that he was a local kid from Baylor, worked in his favor. And then if you think about it, after we got rid of Motley, people followed him to other teams. I don't think Spalding had a few people follow him, including myself, wherever he's gone. But Motley has people. I believe when he got signed, I think by the Suns this year, I saw people even talking about him. So my choice is Motley. Hinton is on his way. Again, Reeves, small but vocal group. So yeah, my vote is for Motley. My bad. I'm sorry I forgot you, man.